Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to another episode of Unsolicited Thoughts and Opinions with me, your host, Naledi Masipa. I hope you guys have had a great week. I hope you guys are having a great weekend ahead if you're watching this during the weekend. But if you're watching this on the Friday, I hope you have a great weekend ahead. Have fun. If you're done with exams, reward yourself. If you're still busy with exams, good luck with the rest. And even after we're all done with our exams, good luck with receiving your marks because I know that can be a bit of like a nerve wrecker. So I hope you guys are okay. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're feeling blessed. I know I am because today was such a great day outside. And another reason to feel blessed is because you guys are finally sitting on a stand. I got a light and everything. Glory to God for that. Yeah, today's a great day because of that. But we cannot get into this episode without getting into the checklist. So, have you followed our socials? My socials at I'm Naledi M on Instagram and at It's Nalids on TikTok. And then have you followed the podcast socials? We get daily quotes every day. Daily, every day. Yeah. You get daily quotes on TikTok and Instagram. So make sure to go follow UTO Podcast on TikTok and Instagram. But don't worry, you don't have to go searching so many times and everywhere just to find the account. You can find all of those links in the description box below. So just make sure you click the link and the important buttons which say follow. And have you subscribed? Why haven't you subscribed? Why haven't you caught up on the other previous episodes? I forgot how many before this one. 5. Have you watched the other 5 episodes? Are you all caught up? Have you subscribed? It's a beautiful red button. It's like this red. Beautiful red button. Just click it and the post notification bell so you're notified on every video that comes up after this. Now, ladies and gentlemen. So I was talking to a friend on the phone. Wait, today's topic, I feel like it's a very important one to talk about because my friend opened my eyes to this topic when he asked me, like, well, not asked, but was like, basically along the lines of, is everybody really deserving of good things? And that was like the sentiment of that conversation. And it brings me to this point now of talking about you being the person you would look up to, you being the person that you want. Because I know there's like this thing on TikTok where TikTok is where we get all our information. God help us all. But where you attract what you want, you attract what you are. I think it's you attract what you are. When we were having this conversation, it sparked another thought to just talk to you guys about this, which is sometimes, actually not even sometimes, before you can say you're deserving of something good, something great, the most common example is a relationship. If you're deserving of a great person to be with, to be your significant other, are you a good person? Do you actually deserve that? Because I feel as though a lot of times some people may not be in the right space to receive that good thing. Because so much I always love to say, like, love yourself, do what's best for you, get what's best for you, always choose the best and for you, But it's like, before you can go looking around for those other things, look within for a second. And are you okay? Are you good? Are you a good person? Are you capable of being a good partner to your partner? Are you capable of being a good friend? Are you capable of being a good, insert your own name, to yourself? So for example, what I mean when I say that is, am I a good Naledi to me? Am I a good person to myself? Am I a good person in general? Because oftentimes it's so easy. It's so easy to say that I deserve this, I deserve that. But it's like, do you? Do you? I remember in my first relationship, man, it was good. It was good, but until it wasn't. It was good until it wasn't. And I remember going out of that relationship, I was like, I want to work on myself. Because that was my first relationship. So it's like, I want to work on myself. I want to make sure that I'm working on myself. I'm not just going to tell this boy I want to work on myself, and then I don't do it. I'm going to work on myself. And working on myself means also like critiquing how I was in the relationship. Was I a good girlfriend? Did I actually put my work in? Did I do anything that added value to him or to the relationship? Or was like, am I just putting it all on him? The reason why it ended, did I have a part to play in that? Yes or no? And going deeper into myself, self introspection is a very important thing that I feel like all of us need to practice from time to time, especially because we're such ever evolving human beings. Look within yourself. Like, if you, for example, actually, let me go look for it on my. You guys don't laugh at me, but like, there's a verse. Hold on, let me find it before I just say there's a verse. Okay, but there's a verse that in the Bible that talks about writing everything down. Right? Let me just find it and read it for y'all before I start talking absolute nonsense. Okay, I found it. So the verse that I was talking about is Habakkuk, Habakkuk 2, Habakkuk. The verse is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2, and it reads, "The Lord answered me, write down the vision, write it clearly on clay tablets so whoever reads it can run to tell others." Okay, hold on. Let me read that properly again. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2 to 3. It reads, "The Lord answered me, write down the vision, write it clearly on clay tablets so whoever reads it can run to tell others. It is not yet time for the message to come true, but that time is coming soon. The message will come true." Now, in the context of personal lives, because with whatever you read, side note, I hope I don't lose my train of thought. With whatever you read in the Bible, it's important to know context of the story, yes, but also to apply it into your personal life. Because one thing God is not going to do is take your highlighted Bible to heaven. Okay. So all those highlights you've been highlighting in your Bible, apply them to your personal life. So when I read that about write down the vision, what I did, going back to our topic, what I did, I have, oh, I have a whole, how do I show y'all this without showing y'all this? I have a whole note section. I don't want y'all to read my notes, even if you pause or something. But like, I have a whole note section of what I would like in a husband, right? And on there, I'm specific, okay? I'm specific. I'm just going to read like a few basic things, but like basic has to be there because when you write them visions down, be specific, okay? If you want tomato cut in half, say tomato cut in half. Don't just say sliced tomato, but whatever. I wrote down funny, considerate, goofy, authentic, respectful, ambitious. And it's like, if I am looking for these things in a man, do I bring that to the table, even though I am the table per? Do I bring that to this relationship as well? And when I say to the table, I mean the relationship. Do I bring that as well? Am I a respectful person? Am I ambitious? Am I goofy when I want to be? Am I authentic? Am I family oriented? Am I romantic? Am I patient? Am I caring? Because it's like, imagine a patient and caring man came into my life. I'd probably chase them away if I was an impatient and not caring person, very inconsiderate, or whatever the case is. So it's like going back to what I was asking, do you actually deserve that good thing? Be that person you would look up to. It takes a lot of work to look within yourself and admit to yourself the things that you have done wrong and taking initiative to change those things. Because I feel like it's not everybody's job to tell you how you are as a person or where to fix up. It's not. Everybody's their own person and everybody has their own life to live, to deal, and things to deal with. Like, nobody has time to be chasing after you like a little 2-year-old to say, no, don't do this. Maybe do that. Maybe you should do this. Maybe you should do that. It's like, come on. Come on. As you grow and as you change, and in the kind of person that you maybe see yourself being and working towards those things, or with what you're looking for, be those things. Because it's only fair for both parties to reciprocate that. Because I feel like reciprocity is not possible if you guys are not able to give something of equal value to one another. It may not necessarily be the same thing, but it's like, it's of equal value. But in the sense of it being the same thing, with me wanting a loving person, am I a person to give love? I feel like y'all get what I'm trying to say. But be the person you would look up to so that you end up also be oh, this is not going to sound like English. Let me just find the sentence. But with you with you striving to be the person that you look up to, I feel like that kind of, in a default way, puts you in the position to deserve the good things that you would like and the good thing that you're seeking. So for like me, a good husband, if I'm trying every day to maybe be a good person or whatever, and certain characteristics in that have allowed me to build in a way that makes me a good wife, then I deserve that. I can attract that and I can have that, because I feel like when you also are not that, you don't have to exactly, I'm not saying be that person, but like I feel like the foundation of things should be the same, you know. But I feel like if you're that's just stuck in that mentality of not wanting to improve yourself and be that thing that you want so bad in whatever scenario you want to apply this to, it's just gonna, I feel like that's also kind of a form of self-sabotage, because it's like you're not good enough to keep that good thing, even though you got it. You're not. So be good enough to keep it, to deserve it, and to have it, to have and to keep, because sometimes it, what did Kendrick Lamar song say? What's the song I'm listening? What's the song I'm thinking of? What's your house, yo? I'm saying, like, dog. I think it's Wesley Theory, where there's a snippet where it's like, the easy part is getting it, the hard part is keeping it, mother. Yeah. But it was right. It's easy to just get something, but to keep it, it's going to take work. So take the work to be a good person, so you could allow good people to be around you, because mm, I feel like a flower is in its environment. So if you are a cactus, you're going to be surrounded by cacti. If you're a lilac flower, you're going to be surrounded by other lilac flowers. Don't have a sense of entitlement when you have no right to it. So, for example, if you are a bad friend, I don't think you deserve to feel entitled, or you have the right to feel entitled to demand anything good around you, like being a demand good friendship from others around you if you're being a bad friend. If you're not the person that you look up to, I feel like you have no right to feel entitled to that, to the opposite of what it is that you are, but what it is that you're trying to get. Don't ever feel that way, because it just shows a lack of self-awareness. That's also another thing that has to be present in this kind of process of being what you would look up to, is self-awareness. Be aware of yourself, the good and bad parts of you. I honestly feel like pray about it. I remember one time, I always say pray about it. God knows everything, and God knows you specifically as well. So, there was a time where I prayed to God, and I was just like, Lord, show me the bad parts of me as well, or tell me about the bad parts of myself. And the Lord, He called me out. He called me out, and it took time to digest, but also I needed that so that I could stop being those things. I don't want to be, for example, um, manipulative. I don't want to be manipulative, but let's say I am. I need to change that. Otherwise, what am I going to get? A manipulator. Going back to the first little quote that we all get from TikTok about you get what you attract. And the only way for you to attract something as a magnet is if you are the magnet itself. So if I'm bad juju gonna come. If I'm good juju gonna come. But have that self-awareness and wanting to be better. Have that want to be better. When attempting to be the person that you would look up to, self-awareness and introspection is something very important. But I should have prefaced by saying this before, but you know me and my prefaces, honey. But never, ever, 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 ever confuse being looking up to someone with trying to be them. Don't get lost in that journey of while you're looking up to someone that inspires you. Don't aspire to be someone else, but allow someone else to inspire you. I feel like that's just what I wanted to say. Don't ever get lost in the sauce of looking up to someone and lose who you are as a person, as an individual, as your unique self by trying to be that other person in any way, shape, or form. Because there's in this day and age, it seems like it's easy for people to be other people. It can be easy. It really can be easy to try be like someone else. Don't try be. Don't try be them. Be who you are, but when I say be that person you would be the person you would look up to, be that person where if somebody looks up to you, you're proud of that. You're like, damn, okay, I'm doing something good and right, obviously, for somebody to be looking up to me. I would hope it's something good and right because some people are actually sick in this world. They could be looking up to the craziest people that do the craziest things. So be a good person. Every time I talk in this context, I try to cater to everybody's thoughts because I have a lot of thoughts going all over the place. But I generally talk about being a good person and doing good things. So let's keep it at that, I guess, for the rest of this podcast. But I forgot what I was saying. Anyway, next thing. Self-awareness and self-introspection is something that's also very important in this journey because as you try to be that good person or that great person that you would look up to, you also have to know what's wrong with you. Nobody's perfect. So what are those imperfections? What are those flaws? And I'm not talking about an insecurity. Don't count an insecurity as a flaw and imperfection, I would think. Actually, let's dive a little deeper into that. Flaws and imperfections. According to Google, the definition of a flaw is a mark or blemish or other imperfection which mars a substance or object, may weaken or invalidate something. That's what mar means, I'm assuming. I feel like also, yeah, when looking within self, don't confuse a flaw slash imperfection of self with insecurity. Because you're insecure about stretch marks, for example, doesn't mean that that's a imperfection. If anything, I think they're beautiful. And I feel like perfection is subjective. Perfection is subjective. Guys, I am so sorry. There's this one thing I've realized about myself, and I have to say this. One one issue I have is as I speak, I have 1,000 thoughts bouncing up and down in my head like crazy. And I feel like sometimes I sat down with myself and I ended up with this analogy. Sometimes I feel like I tell you guys topic fruit salad. And then I just say apple, banana, pineapple, watermelon, peach, fruit salad. And then I feel like y'all receive it as okay, fruit salad. But I'm not telling you the recipe of the fruit salad. I'm not saying dice the peaches, juice the orange, cut the banana, cut the apple, yada, 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 to make a fruit salad. I just say fruit salad, list of fruits, here you go. And I'm sorry about that. Now, linking that to the topic, I aspire to be somebody who is able to very well and hopefully eloquently as I build my vocabulary, as someone that is able to articulate their thoughts well and connect them to the topic that I am trying to talk about. So, now we look within self. What do I need to do? Since I have 1,000 thoughts bouncing up and down in my head, I should probably write them down. Okay? Write them down. Cool. Now that they're written down, do I know what I'm going to speak about in these points? I do. Okay, now that we have the points, we have the recipe, let's share the recipe. We're not just telling people the recipe's name and the ingredients. We're now giving them a step by step instruction and process of how to make the fruit salad. Um, I've had people in my life who like to tell people what to do or how to act in the sense of like, no, do this. It should be good for you. Do that. It's better for you. But themselves, life is in, I don't want to say life is in shambles, but it's like nothing is correlating here. I feel like you're in no position to be giving me that advice. I feel like that's what I want to get to with this whole self-awareness and self-introspection. I feel like I've been rambling for a while, and to close it off, I will say a suggestion, and I'm telling you, it's a good one. But let me find the Bible verse first. One thing about me, I'm gonna try my best in every episode to talk about God. I have to. I feel like it's my job as someone who is trying every day to be God's disciple. I have to talk about God. And like without him, I wouldn't even be here breathing. So I have to talk about him and I love him so much. So why not talk about something and in this case, someone that you love. So the verse Philippians chapter 2 verse 5. In your lives you must think and act like Christ. Be the person you would look up to. Be like Christ. Be like Christ. Here are as I read the Bible, I sometimes find like I try to find characteristics that God is revealing about himself. So I have like a little note section and I'm just going to read like a few as to why you should be like Christ. God is God is loving, he's caring, he's compassionate, he listens to you. He's caring, he's compassionate, he's understanding, he protects you, he's kind. What else can I think of? He's intentional. He's good. He has a big open heart. He has the best shoulders to cry on, the best arms to be hugged within. Like, that's how I see God, right? And in me saying be like Christ, I feel like that's just something that everybody should at least try to aspire to. Be that kind, loving, compassionate, caring person like Christ. And again, please notice it's actually I want to pull out the word. Please, this is a very important word. This is a very important word. The word like. And think and act like Christ. Be like Christ. Don't be Christ. You could never be Christ. None of us could ever be Christ. You could never be God. I feel like that's blasphemous to even say that. Whoa. But like, don't going back to what I was saying about you not losing an identity in who you are. If you're comparing yourself and Christ, am I as close to Christ as I possibly can be as Naledi? I'm still Naledi. I'm still a black South African girl who's in uni, but I'm also kind, loving, caring, and compassionate like Christ. And that's the best example. Honestly, be like Christ, because that's the best kind of thing and human you could be if you're like that. Imagine a world full of loving, caring, kind, and compassionate people. I promise we would have world peace, but the the opposite is true. Some with in context of world peace, but like there's no other person to be like. There's no other better person to look up to than him. His strength. Think of him, his strength and his discipline to his purpose. Like the dedication that it takes. Jesus Christ knew his purpose. He knew he was going to die on a cross. Who wants to die on a cross? Who wants to get beat up? Nobody. Who wants to get tortured? Who wants to get mocked? Nobody. But he did it. That dedication and determination to do that thing that God has called him to do. Be like that. Have that dedication and determination to do what God has called you to do. Please. Like, be like Christ. Yeah, be like Christ. Because he is perfect. He is perfect. And I say he is perfect because God is a trinity, a holy trinity, right? And in that trinity is God the Son. And who's God the Son? Jesus Christ. So he is perfect because he is God and God is perfect. Wouldn't you want to aspire to be like him? Perfect. And I feel like when I talk about being the person you would look up to, I'm not talking about exterior things because life is so much beyond the physical. There's spiritual and emotional things connected to this physical. I feel like they're two realms that just get connected by the physical form. So don't just think physical things, think emotionally, think internally in any kind of way, whether it's emotionally, mentally, your heart posture in the way that it is in your spiritual life and your spirit, your soul, whatever it is. Like, Jesus is the best person to look up to. Because it's like me saying, it's like me being a guy prior to us finding out what he did. I want to be like Diddy because he's a hustler, because he's, I don't know. I'm just giving examples. I'm just thinking like, as a nigga from the hood to now multimillionaire, there's some hustle in there, you know? I'm not, we don't like P. Diddy over here, okay? I'm just gonna make that very, very clear and cut it there. But like, it's like me wanting to be like him. But little did I know, I'm busy, and words are very powerful. Power of life and death is in here, the tongue, okay? Catch it. But little did I know that because I'm aspiring to be P Diddy, right? This is just an example. I would never aspire to be to aspire to be that man. I would never aspire to be that man. I would never aspire to be that man. This is just for the sake of an example. Let me land. So it's like me aspiring to be P Diddy because he's a hustler. He's a this. He's a that. Whatever. Little did I know that he does some pretty twisted things, having freak offs and stuff allegedly. But it's like you never know a person. So it's very, be careful with who you say you look up to also. That's why I'm saying Christ is just the perfect example because he's perfect. But if I'm busy saying like I want to be like the person next door, because everybody got their skeletons in the closet, you know. But if you know somebody, you know, if you know somebody and you want to be like them, sure, go ahead. Also be careful. Be careful with who you choose to look up to. You know, be careful. It's so easy for people like it, especially in the world of social media. It's so easy for me to to put up a facade that I want you to see. If I want you guys to think I'm a billionaire, I will go to somebody's random house on the street, take pictures and say that's my house. Get a random car, pose next to it, take pictures and say that's my car. I'm feeding you guys like lies. Like don't believe everything face value also. Like be careful who you choose to look up to because everything that's on face value that they show you may not be who they are inside at all. So be careful. Hence my advice would be to look up to Christ. Look up to God, the person that is perfect like in every way and someone that is good. Aspire to be good. Yeah. So I feel like that's just how I want to end it. Be the person you would look up to. Recommendation: look up to Christ. Look up to Christ and look to him to help you be the person you would look up to while not losing who you are, because also God knows who you are. So he in you going to him, he's going to ensure that you're staying on the path of your life while also being a good person, a compassionate, a loving, a kind, a da, 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 and the many, 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 many things that I cannot think of that God is. All the good things, by the way. Duh. But yeah, I think I've rambled enough. I've waffled a lot. And that's all the time that we have. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope something got in, and I will try my best to give you better recipes to this fruit salad versus just giving you the ingredient list and telling you the name of the recipe. God bless each and every one of you. Besitos. Goodbye.